Good morning. My name is Justin Connor, and I'll be talking to you real quick, on three separate toy problems, one being common ancestor. So the trick with common ancestor is you're basically taking a constructor function with an array inside of it. You're going to add yourself a couple of methods, and the purpose of this constructor function and these additional methods is to be able to create a tree-like structure and be able to quote unquote add a family tree and create a family tree. And so a couple of things that hung me up on this particular problem was sorting the tree out. Basically, you want that be able to tell who is the closest person to the main person that you put inside of the function, and if that person isn't even related to them, then you also want that to indicate that they're not related to them. With that, you'd want to find out if they are related, and if they are related, you want to loop over the array that's inside of the tree, and then you just loop through the children of that particular person, and then you find that particular ancestor, or not ancestor, excuse me, the descendant. And with that, you'll be able to find if their closest common ancestor. Also, something else that hung me up on this one was, for the most part, just getting the add child to work properly. I didn't think of being able to, I didn't think about how you just can't arbitrarily add any child to a tree, because that's just how that works, and that I can't be related to whoever I choose to be related to. So we had to first test to see if they were an actual descendant, which then the isDescendant method, a part of this constructor function, will return true if you are, a descendant of that person, and if you aren't, then it will return false. And so once I got that put together, the rest of this kind of came somewhat naturally. All right, so then there was a second. Oops. Robot paths. So robot paths is seems like is a very common toy problem that I've seen before. Well, I've seen something like it before, but not to this extent. You see something similar to this with N-Queens, and basically just being able to toggle pieces on and off an imaginary board that's instantiated through this method that you create. And I kind of went about it in a way originally that was a little too much, if I can use some form of slang there. And basically, you want to iterate through your board and toggle pieces on and off where they have or have not been. And so you can just create a secondary function that's just checking each index of the board, no matter what the size of the board is. And if there's a piece there, you place the piece there, and then you mark if it has been there or has not been there. And then you just traverse through the rest of the board. And if a piece has been there, then you don't place another piece there. If a piece hasn't been there, and it also isn't overriding another piece, then you continue to toggle pieces on and off until you get the amount of times you can go from the top left to the bottom right. And so that problem in particular definitely brings out your ability to traverse over what you can consider an imaginary board, but being able to tell where pieces and pieces have and have not been. And then binary heap. Let's do this. Fantastic. Binary heap. This one was pretty difficult for me. You basically are inserting and removing different pieces into what we consider this array method, and with that you're basically putting together a couple of helper functions really. One to just make sure you can compare what's in and outside of the heap, and then be able to swap those in and out of, right? And so you have to insert at specific indexes, and if there is an opportunity to place something there, you will, and if not, you don't. And then you also have the ability to remove the main piece of the binary heap, and then also take away from that as well, and then have everything else covered down appropriately. All right. That's all I have for the moment, and thank you for your time.